Dr.Smithson here, Sports Vision Pros, here on the Good Sport. We have Washington Wizards game tonight, NBA. You ever wonder what we have in the sideline emergency pack? What do we have for emergencies that happen in game? So join me and another advisory board member, Dr. Kori Hudson for Sports Vision Pros. Look behind the scenes of what's in the athletic trainer's pack, what should be in a sideline eye emergency pack. So join us at Sports Vision Pros to learn about it.
Dr.Smithson here, Sports Vision Pros. We're going to talk about the sideline emergency kit here with a very good friend of mine, our team doctor. This is...
I'm Dr. Kori Hudson here. Glad to be here with you today.
Yeah, so this is something we think could be a really nice resource for a lot of teams. We have a wonderful opportunity to work together in our professional team here in Washington, where we have a team eye doctor that's on site for every game. It's not always the case. I don't travel with the team, so we have a medical pack that travels when I don't. We think this might be a good resource for athletic trainers, team physicians, and sports specialists alike to just have something that can be emergency. I think it's really great to have that relationship with the team doctor to be able to reach out to them. So what's in the sideline kit and what's important? So why is it important to have a kit like this?
Sure. So as a primary care sports physician, as an emergency physician, I think to myself, when I'm on the sideline and I don't have you around, what kind of eye injuries am I most likely to see? How can I manage them on the sideline? And what do I need to do on the sideline versus what needs to be seen tonight in the emergency department? Or who am I going to need to send to see you in the office the next day? So a lot of these things are the things I'm going to need to have with me on the sideline so I can even make that assessment of who needs to be seen tonight versus who can be seen tomorrow.
Yeah, so I mean, this is going to go through a quick overview of sort of what's in the kit, but also kind of, I guess, what the injuries are, right?
Yeah.
Because these are the most common eye injuries that we're going to have in most sports. Okay? So we'll just start. We'll go through it a couple things. So one of the first things we see a lot is corneal abrasions. Scratches, cuts of the eye. So how do we assess the corneal abrasion? What do we use for that?
Right. So, I mean, I think the most obvious things we want to have that are easy. We want to have a pen light, right? Because we're going to look at a pen light. We're going to do a quick exam. Just look for light reflex. We're going to do our quick examination to see are the pupils responsive. We're going to see how big the pupils are. We're going to take a good look at the ocular motions back and forth. And then you really want to have some fluorescein strips. And you don't need very many of these. A couple goes a long way. We only use a couple a year. But having some fluorescein strips so that we can do the little staining of the eye, and then a UV light. And they come in lots of different types. If you don't have one like this, know that your average wall ophthalmoscope usually has a blue light, a UV light on it. And with that, we can see the uptake from the fluorescein.
Yeah, the fluorescein, very simple, little wetness to it, wipe it on the inside of the lid. We get the cobalt blue filters in many different varieties, but it shows really quickly that this athlete has a problem. Then we have a decision to make, right? Are we going to remove them from play? If it's our team, we're heading into the playoffs and we have to make a decision, we also have the bandage contact lens. So we can put a bandage contact lens on if we're comfortable and safe with that to potentially allow that athlete to continue to compete safely, right? So
my trick for these, I don't like putting them straight to the eye, right? They actually kind of hurt or feel like they scratch if they're by themselves.
Yep.
So either a little bit of just saline eye drops or even a little bit of contact lens solution, which is really easy to have in the kit as well.
Perfect. Yeah, so there's the next one, right? So a lot of our athletes wear contact lenses. It's a great thing to have. Contact lens case, some solution in case we need to, replace that lens. We always tell our athletic trainers, let's make sure that we have extras of the contact lenses for the athletes we need. They're going to forget one's going to come out. So having those in the sideline kit, identified by the player, is a great resource to have. So we have some cotton tip applicators. Great thing. Sometimes things get in the eye, not necessarily in our indoor sports as much as tonight.
Yeah.
But when we're outdoor, it's dirt, it's dust, it's little
Turf
things.
fields, we get little bits of that turf in their eyeballs.
Exactly.
It's so easy to get that out when you have a little one of these.
The rubber pellets.
Rubber pellets.
Awful.
Bits of rubber turf.
Just horrible. Yeah. So I think those are a lot of the basics that'll cover a lot of the injuries. One of the things that we travel with is a heat pack. So we have the Bruder mask here, but there's multiple different heat packs. These are for those road trip kind of injuries where it's, hey, I woke up, my eye doesn't feel great. Maybe I have the beginning of a little sty. Put some warm compresses on it. Well, warm heat doesn't really last long enough to do good. So these heat packs that can be heated up and last allow that to get opened up hopefully and not turn into a bigger issue when we're on a road trip and away from us sometimes. So the heat masks are fantastic. I think the biggest question is medication-wise. That's the trick, and I think you really have to have the relationship with your team doc to be comfortable and safe about what should be in this sideline pack. I think those are the basics, but there's a lot of medications that we have in our pack. Do you want to go through some of those?
Well, I usually start with the over-the-counter things, right? So I like for our athletic trainers to have some saline eye drops, right? Just for flushing out I think an antihistamine eye drop is a great choice to have, right?
Yeah.
Especially we're in DC, right? So spring allergies are brutal here.
Yeah, for sure.
So an antihistamine eye drop for those itchy eyes gets us to a pretty good place in the spring. If we've got somebody who knows allergic, we're in pollen season, that may get them to the point where they can get home to see me. If we're talking about some of our high-level teams, our elite teams, we will sometimes carry a little anesthetic drop so that we can do this fluorescein exam, or we need to do an exam where they've really got a painful eye and it's really hard for us to open it up.
Yeah, sure.
That might be nice to have. And then occasionally we'll carry some antibiotic drops, but even I'm not going to use those without talking to you about what we're doing there.
Yeah, and I think this is where the relationship comes in, because look, it's a digital world. We can talk via FaceTime, we can text, we can send pictures of things, and we can remotely take care of athletes sometimes on the road. So, steroids, antibiotics, things like that we work with in conjunction with our team physicians, I think are a great opportunity. And one of the things Dr. Hudson was touching on was, just lubricating and moisturizing drops. So there's a lot of nice over-the-counter lubricants that, my eyes are a little irritated. It was a long road trip. I was on a flight. Maybe I didn't get a lot of sleep the night before. Maybe I was sitting on my device too long before my game. So just a little lubricating drop could be really nice, but there's differences and variations. So I actually had a conversation with our trainer tonight about an athlete who was wearing contact lenses and said, look, this is a wonderful drop for someone who doesn't wear contact lenses, but there are some drops that are a bit more watery that would be good with a contact lens and not blur up the contact lens that some of the more milky solutions like. So I think
actually in my glasses tonight because I was in a hotel over the last couple days and on a train, and it was so brutally dry in the hotel that I just felt like I needed a day out of my contacts today. So a good example today.
There we go, right? So this is, I think, the basics of a sideline medical pack. I would encourage you to, again, make a relationship between the doctor, between your eye care specialist, have the relationship where you can pick up the phone call. We talk to each other all the time. It becomes really great friendships and people that I know and trust, and we build that trust level where we can take care of athletes all season for many seasons and keep them upright, healthy, and functional, which is what we're all about. So,
thanks so much. I hope we can help a lot of people with this.
Wonderful. Until next time, Dr. Smithson and Dr. Kori Hudson for Sports Pros.